number 2 here at Phillip Island and Chang. Division 2 guys half an hour ago just finished up their racing in both races. Chaos, loads of crashes, loads of mistakes, but you know, came down to last lap finishes, so hopefully we can get the same today. The person not here today is Finley and Ghost Beach, but I do believe I refused to invite Ghost Beach after last week. So Finley, he is currently not in. I don't know if he will join. Obviously, he can join the second race. He is reportedly only 10 minutes away from his house, so we'll see how everything pans out. But Craig, he is 1 point away from being the championship leader in second place, taking 2 second place finishes. He is behind VTR, who took first and third places at Qatar and Lusail, and then you got Howling Siege, who I believe will be in third place after taking a 5th and a 1st place. Let me just double check. Championship standings. Yeah, Howling's is in third place, only 4 points behind. So those are your top 3. So just keep an eye on them, see how everything progresses. You will have the likes of Jack Berman, Nelson, Sire, and DJX and Legendary, and Fadley looking to make up for the lost ground in the opening round, especially the former champions of Nelson and Sire. DJX was really, he's just gone down, but I was about to say DJX very strong, could have easily had 2 podium places in both races, but thought just make a small mistake in the end of Austria, costing a chance of a 3rd place finish or even a 2nd place finish. So as we start the first run of laps, as Craig nearly crashes onto the grass, running over the inside curb and then onto the outside curb around the final corners, and it is going to be the 2 Repsol Hondas that will start this session, and Nelson's got a nice marker in front of him. Did say he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable with Phillip Island, and he does feel fast, but he just feels there's a little bit of inconsistency in there, so we'll be making sure that he just brings the Honda home, try and get the solid results that he missed out on last weekend. But Craig, he's definitely made a step, after having a break during last season. He's come back. I think he's finished in every race inside the top 5 bar the race at Kimi Ring in the wet. So Craig, the Honda just didn't want to turn in there, and you can see Nelson is getting quite a bit of time on him through the opening 2 sectors, and won't be surprised if Craig pulls out, and he has just ran wide. So that is Craig's opening lap done and dusted. As we now go through the hay shed, and Nelson goes down, and that is a massive crash for the former 2-time champion. It's going to be Legendary, I believe, now who will be the first person to set a proper lap time in this session. As Craig will be the first person to cross the line, but also his lap time will be representative, and now Legendary's gone down at MG, so lots of mistakes going on everywhere. But we got his teammate DJX, he's going to be the first person hopefully to actually set a decent lap time. As we will go to Craig, he won't be a blistering lap time, probably like a 130 something, but here we go, up to the line for Craig, a 130 flat, bang on. Then it'll be DJX next, yep, and it'll be Jack Berman. So keep an eye on Jack Berman. He will go to the top unless he falls off. But DJX at 120, oh no, maybe not, but 125.5 for DJX as the opening lap time. And here comes Jack up to the line. He's 3 personal best sectors, so we should go to 2nd place. There you go, half a second off. Is Fadley up? Yes, Fadley, the LTR Honda goes into pole position. But Sire, he has got 3 red sectors, and Howling Siege, keep an eye on him after winning in Austria. This circuit doesn't seem to be a very Howling Siege type of track, but you never know. That Yamaha isn't a Howling Siege bike, but doesn't mean he can't do anything with it. But 2.2 seconds off the pace, not a fantastic start, but we'll see how it pans out. And now the 2 Repsol Hondas once again. Well, you got Craig, 3 red sectors. Could he be about to hit the top? And where's VTR? VTR with 2 red sectors as well, so keep an eye on him. as we watch Craig come round the penultimate corner, very wide line there, and it's the final corner. I can't hear his engine sounds. That does mean he is about to run out of fuel. Bang, there you go. He runs out of fuel up to the line. Here's VTR, the championship leader. 25 points out of 30 gained in the opening round. Could have easily been a double victory, but a small mistake at turn 9 cost him the chance of a double win. Legendary goes into 5th place. VTR across the line and does a 1:24.5, the first 24 of the session, 7/10 in front of the next rider. And now Sire's improving once more. Howling Siege also improving. So these two very close on track, but Sire's going to dive into the pit lane. What is Howling going to do? Is he going to follow him? No, he's going to go round and finish the lap time. Also 2.9 seconds, not the greatest of bankers to go off. He was only just in front of Craig, who hasn't set lap time because he's run out of fuel and crashed. So Howling across the line, much better lap time, 4th place he goes, just 1/10 away from the front row of the grid. Now Jack Berman back out once again for personal best sector 1 as we now turn into turn number 4, Miller's hairpin. This is going to be a home oh, he's lost the front spot, so it's a home corner now for the Red Bull KTM team with Jack Miller joining them, but a big mistake there by Jack there, and unfortunately that is the end of his second lap or third lap of the session. Legendary 3 grey sectors. This will does incline that he is most likely going to be boxing this lap, I'd imagine. There you go, boxing on the GSXR and DJX has gone down at the Hayshed, so the Hayshed already claiming a few victims today, and Fadley's gone down at Lucky Heights as well. Legendary's gone down in the pit lane. Craig is approaching the start of his next lap, whereas Sire's just come out the blocks. DJX is Lucky Heights, Fadley's at Lucky Heights, Howling is bound to be boxing, so I'm trying to think, oh, VTR's gone down, DJX has gone down, there's all sorts of crashes going on now. Well, we'll go, I believe the next person to start a lap time will be Craig. Yes, it is. So here comes Craig out the final corner, down the home straight. Currently 5.4 seconds off pole position. I'm sure he'll jump onto the second row of the grid, I'd imagine, or the third row. He'll jump to the head of the third row at worst. But given his pace, he should be doing a 1:25 quite easily in my imagination. Red sector 1, there we go. Red sector 1 into stoners. 5th or 6th gear depending on your gear ratio. Then change direction. We saw Craig just struggled to turn the bike in this corner on his opening attempt. Does that a lot better, but he has run quite hot and quite wide as we now enter Siberia, taking a very nice tight line, using the camber of the corner to your advantage. Set the bike up, and now we cross the second point. Improvements in sector 2. So VTR very strong in the second sector, it seems like, compared to Craig. That Ducati working a bit better than the Honda. Oh, and Craig has a little bit of a bobble on the front, and unfortunately that's enough to take him down at Lucky Heights. DJX now approaching the same place, but this time, but he's able to stay on. The Suzuki's a lot more forgiving than the Honda, and Sire Red sector 1 as well. So maybe VTR's first sector wasn't the strongest, but we'll just keep an eye on that second split for Sire to see how this pans out. DJX now rounding the final corner to look to improve and try and get under the 1 second window, which I'm pretty confident he'll be able to do. Can he jump any higher on the second row? Maybe even jump onto the front row. Yes, he does. He goes into second place. Brilliant job there by DJX. He's definitely the biggest improver, I'd say, so far, along with Howling from last season. Those two, I think Howling only managed maybe one. I don't think maybe even to get one podium, but the pair of them should be a little bit of last season, but they definitely made good steps forward in their bikes and their lap times and consistency. So, but here comes Sire, looking to try and match his teammate, try and get onto the front row. Can he snatch pole position from him? He's got, oh no, he's hit the curb, he's taking too much inside curb, and he's gone down at the final corner, and that is his chance of taking pole position gone for this lap. And he can't box either, he's going to have to take the long way round, and this, it will mean he can run hardly any fuel for his last run, but that is really going to hamper him. Now we've got Nelson approaching the third, he's in the third sector now, coming up to the 4th sector point. just about. And now, as he changed direction for MG, it's a further improvement. He's only a few hundredths away from taking Howling's spot in 5th place. And he's only got to gain 2/10 of a second to jump onto the front row. Can the former 2-time champion find a way onto the front row of the grid? He's been on Honda, Pramac, and back to Honda. Legendary also improving, Jack Berman improving, Craig improving, all improvements all round. Up to the line they go, and Nelson jumps into 2nd place. He'll be happy with that, and he has a massive wobble the curb. Maybe like lack of concentration, too busy looking at his lap time, and he's gone down. Here comes Legendary and Craig. Maybe he'll just get a little bit of slipstream for the Suzuki. Legendary crosses the line, and he remains 7th. He actually drops to 8th now as Craig crosses the line to go into 4th place, 7/10 off pole position. Jack Berman now coming up to the last corner on his RC16, currently 1.5 seconds off the pace. But I'm sure that gap will reduce itself once he crosses the line. BTR also improving his lap time as well. So is Howling Siege. Here comes Jack Berman up to the line, and he jumps into 7th place, just 1,000 ahead of Howling. But how long will that stay like that as VTR rounds the final corner, using the gas, using all the horsepower that the Desmond Suzuki GP22 has, up to the line, and he is a 124.3, moving the goalpost even further, 6/10 of a second in front of Nelson in 2nd. Here comes Howling Siege up to the line, and he remains in 8th place, unable to improve his lap time. Legendary has made a mistake at formerly named Honda Hairpin, and that is his session. Well, it's not his session, that's his next lap over, but he will be able to box, and we'll have time to put a fresh set of tyres in, lower the fuel, and have one last blast at it. But here comes Fadley. He's improving his 2nd sector as he rounds Lucky Heights one more time as we now approach turn 10. MG Hairpin. This has been a big place of where crashes have happened. You can see a bit, just to change direction, maybe you just applying the brakes just a little bit too early, or a little bit too aggressively, and that is all it takes to lose the front, have a big wobble, and crash out. Around the final corner once more for the LCR Casual Honda rider. Up to the line he goes, and can he jump in front of Craig? Yes, he can. He finds 36,000 of a second of improvement, and that is enough to move into 4th place. But like Nelson, maybe a bit too bothered looking at his lap time to notice he's gone onto the outside curb, and that's enough to take him down. Howling Siege improving once more. He lost time in the last sector on his previous attempt. Can he find anything this time round? Like I said, I can't see Philip Island being a circuit that Howling will be very good at. It's really long sweeping corners, and that is not what Howling's amazing at, but that is what the Yamaha's amazing at. As Howling crosses the line, he's able to improve into 7th place, but that is not enough. He's 1 second exactly behind VTR, but he's not that far away from the podium spots. So VTR, he's got a great feeling with this Ducati, a great feeling with the Phillip Island circuit, so he's looking like the favourite so far for this race. But Division 2 proved that it doesn't matter how fast you are in qualifying, the race is a lot more difficult. And Craig, he didn't improve on his previous lap, but his improvement in Sector 1 personal best, and he's going to run hot again, and he's going to struggle to turn. So there's something wrong, whether it's just the way he's braking or the way the bike's set up. He just does not want to turn into turn 4. So that's something he's going to have to work on or think about when it comes to the race in a few moments time. As DJX is improving further, can he jump on? Can he move into 2nd place on the grid? Nelson, I think he'll be proud of himself if he can qualify 2nd, but it's going to be a hard ass to keep, because you've got the likes of DJX and Craig improving more and more as the time goes on. The track gets more rubbered up. As now DJX, he's lost time in the 3rd sector. Craig is improving as he's about to approach the final turn now, crossing the pit lane there. Don't take too much inside curb like Sire did. And now up to the line where the RC213V go. He improves in lap time but not position. And DJ's crossed the line, he does not improve. Sire is approaching the 2nd sector point now as he just exits Siberia. You can see the sea just in the background there. High winds, really cold temperatures at this Australian circuit, just coming off the back of the winter when they race here in October. And now hard on the brakes as they change direction. Side looking to try and get onto the front row of the grid. We know that he's capable of it. He's going to be the 3rd rider to get into the 124s only Nelson and VTR have been able to do so far. Into the final corner, can Sire making sure not to run the inside curve this time, learning from his mistake on his previous attempt. Up to the line he goes, and he moves into second place. Nelson invalidating his lap time. I don't know how he's done that, but that is going to be the end of his session. He's not going to be able to get to the final, to start finish line, start his final lap. So third place is the best he'll be able to hope for. But that is it. Wow, that's a faster session to have ended, I think. VTR pole position, his teammate Sire in second, Nelson in third. Those are the only 3 riders in the 124 bracket. DJX is in fourth, Craig in fifth, Fadley 6th, Howling 7th, Jack Bowman 8th, and Legendary in 9th place. So this race, it's very, as you can see from the qualifying session, it's extremely easy to go down at the circuit, whether it's clear, cloudy, wet, any condition, this track can bite you. So it's going to be interesting to see who was able to take the best out of this race. But any of the 9. I mean, Legendary doesn't seem to have quite the pace, but if he can use the consistency he had from last season in Division 2, there's no reason why, if there's a few mistakes by the riders, he can claim a podium spot, maybe even a win if all of them make mistakes. We just have to wait and find out what happens. So we're just waiting on Nelson now to join. And now we've got waiting for showing. Ready up. Right, let's go. So VTR in pole position in front of his teammate Sire, and Nelson in third place. Right, that device is activated, and we are away at Phillip Island. And it looks like VTR's got the jump, but Nelson's got a really strong start as they head into turn 1. It's going to be Craig. No, it's not. It's going to be DJX round the outside. These 3 go into turn 2, and it's going to be VTR who holds firm at the front. Oh, Nelson, what's happened to Nelson? Is he fine? Yeah, he's fine. But DJX hits the front for the first time. The Suzuki rider takes the lead in the race. Oh, VTR makes a mistake. He runs to the curb, now into turn 4. Everyone survived so far. VTR's going to run wide. He's going to force Nelson with him, sort of similar to like Top Rack and Lowe's, where Lowe's went down and caused Top Rack to crash. And now, oh my lord, what's going on? And VTR getting close to the curb now there. But DJX is first, Sire is now second. VTR's in third. He's got Legendary making a great start. He's in fourth. Jack Bowman's in fifth. Nelson, no, he's not. Nelson's going to go on the side of the pair of him today. He said, wow. Nelson moves up into fourth place. Legendary is now into fifth. And oh, and Howling hits the back of Jack, and he goes through just about. That was very hairy stuff. And Jack goes back through, and Howling forces his way through. That's very Howling like. There's the aggression that we usually see from the Dutchman. As Sire takes the lead from DJX using the power that probably outbraking him through MG and into the following corner. Out the final corner now. Surely the Ducati is going to be faster down the home straight. As Howling and Jack Bowman continue to make contact, and that Yamaha is going to be a sitting duck down the straight, but he's actually going to just about hold on to it. As DJX runs wide through turn 1, and now it's a Ducati 1-2, but DJX is going to be like a bit like maybe Alex Rins, to be really strong through turn 2, use that Suzuki to turn, but he just didn't have the right line. As Craig and Howling now making contact, and Howling holding off the current runner-up in the championship as Jack Bowman goes, oh, Craig hits the grass, and Jack Bowman going to go up the inside into Stoners, now to the Honda Hairpin. We saw Craig have a few problems to this corner, running quite hot, and Howling runs quite hot. Two of them go side by side out of the corner, but it's going to be Howling going to use the inline fours acceleration advantage. But Howling's gone down at Siberia. The previous race winner has gone down at Siberia. That could be big for the championship, as Saya's got a half-second lead over VTR. VTR makes a big mistake on the exit of the hay shed, and that's going to allow DJX to be right behind, and that brings Howling into Nelson into the fight for the podium as well. Into MG Hairpin, DJX had a massive wobble in the front. VTR using a lot of inside curve there. DJX running a really wide line. That's maybe how Saya was able to go up the inside on the previous lap round. But around the final corner they go. VTR holding on to second place. He's got the Bologna bullet, which will be able to fend off the Suzuki down the straight quite easily to go into turn one once more for the third time. And DJX is going to run hot again, and that's Nelson up the inside. But DJX has got enough of an advantage to hold on to third place for now. But Nelson's looking really strong. Saya's gone down. Saya's gone down, and so is Legendary. Legendary's followed him as well. That now promotes Craig and Jack into the top 5, and that also promotes Nelson into the podium places. And Legendary and Howling making contact as well as Legendary rejoins the circuit. But back at the front, VTR takes the lead once again after losing it on the opening lap, as Fadley and Jack Berman now make contact with each other, and Fadley moves inside the top 5. And Fadley just holding off any attack that the RC16 could give back. But so there'll be 3 laps. Has already been action packed, but these 3 are the main protagonists at the front. But keep an eye on Craig in the background. Don't be surprised if he starts to mount a later charge, which he seems. He did say the starts are his main issue. It's what's cost him the chance of victory in both races last weekend. Just not, whether it's just a lack of aggression or just being really unlucky. For some reason, he just loses positions on the opening lap, and that's all it takes for him to lose that chance of victory. Because I've no doubt in my mind he's got the pace to win this. And Nelson running the outside curve there, sitting the bike up, just making sure he doesn't go down. Smart riding there. He's in a podium place here. There's no reason to take any sort of stupid risks here. But he's in fight. He's only 9 tenths away from the race lead so far. So with 6 laps remaining, it's all to play for these 3. But VTR might just be starting to eke out a small gap here as Nelson runs quite wide through Miller Hairpin. Oh, and that's Fadley running really wide through Miller Hairpin and dropping down to 6th place. And Saya, who's the fastest man on circuit, he'd be raging at himself for that mistake. Saya easily could be a champion this season. Just made too many mistakes in these opening 3 races. He'll be hoping to bounce back at Chang. But back at the front, the gaps are starting to spread as DJX has gone down at MG. Big mistake by the Frenchman there. It was going so well for him, and unfortunately, just again like Austria, he's in a good podium place and he's just lost the front. That now promotes Jack Berman to 4th. Fadley is now 5th, but for how long? As Saya, he's in the slipstream. He's going to pull alongside, get more slipstream, but this is surely a formality. What's happened to Craig? What's happened to Craig? Why is Craig's? Oh no, he's not lagged out, has he? Oh no. Oh no, that is that is frustrating. He will be absolutely fuming at that. He had a podium place in his hands, and it's all gone away from him with no fault of his own. But Saya is now through on Fadley, but Fadley attacks straight away, and he's lost the front doing so. And Nelson's gone down as well. That Craig should be 2nd place right now, but that now promotes Jack Berman into 2nd place. Saya's back in the podium places. DJX could be back on for a podium here if he has enough pace. But VTR out in front. He's got a 5-second lead. It's his to lose now. Hard on the brakes into MG. Just gonna think that Saya is gonna find his way through very soon, within the next lap or so. Down the straight, going 340k an hour, 360k an hour according to the speedometer. I don't believe they're going 360. Probably like more like 330, 340. You can see, Saya just got a lot more confidence and speed in the GP22 as Nelson's gone down again, and Nelson's gone. Nelson will be absolutely furious with himself, but here comes Saya up the inside into the Miller hairpin, and he's back into second place. And should Vitor not make a mistake, this is where he shall finish, unless obviously Saya makes a mistake himself. But it's a good salvage job from Saya. Second place. He didn't get a podium at all last weekend, so just going to make sure he brings this home so he can get his championship back on track. Howling in 6th place, so it's not what he'd be hoping for at all. Now we've got to keep an eye on that gap between Jack and DJX. Who is going to take the final podium spot in this race? Gap's currently 1.3, that's 1.4 seconds. At 93 laps is just over 4/10 a lap. So it's going to be a hard job because Phillip Island's one of the fastest circuits in the world, and it's really hard to close that amount of time in fast circuits like this because there's not much where you can gain time. But DJX is doing that's only 1.1 seconds. So he's closing in on Jack. This could be a last lap attack for the Frenchman to get back on the podium. Oh no, he's gone down. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he just hit a bump or something, I don't know, but that now promotes Fadley into 4th and Howling as a 5th, and that does consolidate Jack's chances of a podium, and he's just got to stay on the thing. And it's a return to the podium for Jack Berman. After leaving last season, he could be back to podium ways. He was close to the podium last weekend. He was running inside the podium places at one stage until he fell down. But he's got a full second gap over Fadley in 2 laps. He just got to bring it home. DJX would be absolutely kicking himself. He was closing in. The chance of the podium was getting there, but he just pushed up maybe a little bit too hard, maybe. Howland's going to be another top 5 finish, but he's going to be sacrificing a lot of points here. 9 points to be exact. No, he won't. No, he won't. It'll be fewer points than that as Fadley's gone down. Now he'll be sacrificing 7 points. So his championship lead. So VTL's championship lead will increase from 1 point to 11 points, with Howling moving into second place after Craig's disconnection. But you just got to think if Craig hadn't disconnected, he probably would have finished second place again in this race. It's cruel misfortune for Craig there. DJX. So used to VTR on a Suzuki. DJX really going round the outside of Fadley as VTR now crosses the line to start the final lap of the race, and DJX is through on Fadley, getting back inside the top 5 places. But Fadley has got the Honda. He's on a V4. And that bike will be fast from straight line than the Suzuki. Here we go in the slipstream. Pulling to the right. Can Fadley tack into turn 1? No, he can't. Into turn 2. DJX will just have a little bit more front end on that Yamaha. Sorry, Suzuki. My head's going all over the place here. But DJX, I think if he can just hold off a Fadley attack into turn 4, all should be well for him. Here we go, DJX goes extremely defensive. And holds off Fadley for now. But there's still a few corners to go. But he really got he's wide through Siberia. He's wide through Siberia, but I just think he's going to hold off Fadley once more. But you got to think. I'm thinking like MG, maybe Lucky Heights again, because just maybe that little bit of confidence in Lucky Heights potentially could happen. But we're going to go back to the race leader, the championship leader. VTR is going to take his second victory in 3 races and stamps his authority on the championship. As he takes an 11, no, it's not 11 points, sorry. But yeah, sorry, 11-point lead in the championship. Sire, his teammate, finishes second for Ducati Lenovo 1-2, just about finishing with fuel remaining. Jack Berman is third, and Howling Siege takes second place in the championship, finishing in 4th place. DJX in 5th as Fadley has crashed. He's crashed in the final sector. It's probably MG, I'd imagine. But he's gone down. Legendary, he's going to finish in 6th with Fadley in 7th. That is your top 7. VTR in 1st, Sire 2nd, Jack 3rd, Howling 4th, DJ 5th.
Jack, that was stupid and irresponsible of you, man.
Right, right, anyway, we'll go with, we'll move on. There's your top 7. So let's see, I'll just see what time it is. So it is 37, so we'll get everyone back in and get going for hopefully 22. So we're just waiting on Nelson. And maybe Craig. Her father's gone. Right, so this is the last grid we'll have. So you'll see Ghost Beach, remember he did have a race ban, so that's why he missed the first race. Craig is not joining the second race, and Platt, he makes his return for Repsol Honda. So that's VTL's chance of getting a double winner over, most likely. But we'll see what happens.
If you see a lot of movement in the pits, it's because the qualifying session is about to begin. We've seen a lot of riders who look great during free practice.
So here we go. China International Circuit is cloudy, probably ideal conditions for this circuit. Wait to see who will be the first person out the box. It is going to be DJX. Because DJX, he'll be really annoyed at himself for the mistakes he made at Phillip Island. Could have easily got a podium. And we'll see what the Frenchman can do this time. Let's see what Howling can do as well, you know, just missed off the podium. We'll just see what Platt can do as well. You know, first race on a Repsol Honda, I don't know how much practice he's definitely willing to practice at all, so I've no doubt that give him a 15-minute qualifying session just to understand the bike and get, and that sort of stuff. You know, I think it'd be a formality of the winner of this race, but we'll see. All Legendary goes down straight away through turn 4. So we'll go on board with DJX as he starts his opening lap of the session. Down the straight into turn 1, hard on the brakes. Through turn 1, out of the corner. Maybe using the ride-out device, I don't know. Leans over to the left for turn 2. And then hard on the brakes for turn 3. See what kind of line he takes. He'd like to take a more inside line. because you can take multiple lines for that hairpin. It causes absolute nightmares in the races. Hard on the brakes once more into turn 4. Back on the gas and now into turn 5. All about managing the gas here. Make sure you don't spin a tyre, make sure you don't wheelie, all that kind of stuff. And hard on the brakes into these sequences of right-handers. He's round quite wide through there. And now into the here we are now into the penultimate the final left-hander into the penultimate corner. It's been a really scrappy opening lap for DJX here. Into the final corner, hard on the brakes, first gear hairpin, hit the curb as well. Jack Berman's gone down, up to the line. It's going to be a 128. Howling will cross the line, I think, with pole position. Yep. Then we got Legendary coming up. Hard on the brakes into the final corner for the current reigning Division 2 champion. Up to the line, and he goes pole. Then you got Sire into the last corner. I think he's about to take pole position. I think there's 26.8. Now we got Ghost Speech coming up to the final corner. Cross the line, and he goes 5th. VTR, I think he's just starting his opening lap. Here we go, red sector 1 for the championship leader. As he goes down the back straight into the fast turn forward. As you go downhill, braking hard, taking as much corner speed as possible, trying not hit the curb with a bit of wheelie. No, it's all about just going through all these long corners. Taking a nice late apex there, then for the double apex right. Legendary staying nice out of the way. Might be catching VTR's eye line, but should be too much of a problem. VTR not the strongest of second sectors. What about the third sector? Not as strong as his teammate. So it looks like Psy might be holding on to pole position for this lap. As VTR approaches the final corner now. Hard on the brakes. Oh, he's at the curb and he's gone down. Low of a bubble, that's all it takes. Now we're going to see what can Platt come up with on the Repsol Honda. I'm expecting a pole position lap time, but we'll see. Wasn't the red sector 1, but sector 1's at the sector you want to be looking out for. It's the second one, and it's an improvement in the second sector. His personal best hasn't said lap time yet. We await sector 3. Still waiting for. I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest if it turns red. Let's see, hard on the brakes. I found this is the hardest corner. It's just so weird as a corner. It's hard to explain the sensations. But Platt runs wide through the final left hand of the circuit, and now as you change direction into the penultimate corner, and now into the final corner, hard on the brakes, going down the box, out the final corner, up to the line, and he goes pole. Found it all in the last sector. So Sai looks strong. It looked good for Sai into the last sector. Legendary improving. Can he maintain? No, it seems like he made a mistake for that corner there. Legendary on for his strongest qualifying yet. With just half the session to go, and he backs out, and you can see his teammate there just about to start his next lap. Where's Nelson? Where's Howling? Howling's the start. Is that Ghost Speech just coming out the box? But Platt is improving. We'll keep an eye on just DX for now. What's his first sector? Going to be an improvement, I'd imagine. It's a red sector 1. But we saw that Platt didn't put in the strongest of first sectors. And Platt's just going to be working his way down to the 25s. And he's gone down in sector 3. Looks like he might have clipped the curb, possibly. Oh, and DJX has gone down. That's quite a few of them in the first sector. The one leading is Howling. Howling losing time in the first sector. VTR though, he's red. Now into turn 4. Howling just doesn't seem to be full of confidence at the moment. Doesn't look as strong as it did in Austria, as the bike pumping and suspension just giving away there. Whoa, 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 as VTR almost goes down as well. Where's Nelson? Nelson, the only one to not do lap time, doing the Mogsy. He will at worst go 7th place. Platt and Sire, red sectors 1 and 2. We wait to see what their third sectors are. Platt's just about to approach the third sector, it's an improvement. What about Sire? I think Sire's the next one behind him. As Nelson comes to the final corner, hard braking, going a bit sideways. I think he's restarting a lap. Yeah, he's going to go again. But I think he's still going to go 7th place nonetheless. He's going to go 8th, he's actually gone down, turns out. But Platt coming across the line to 26.4. Sire's maintained it, but is he strong enough in the final sector to retake pole position? Up to the line, it's going to be a 1:26.1, and he's gone to the top. Legendary improving in sector 1, Nelson improving in sector 1. Through turn 4. Legendary running a tiny bit wide. The second sector's improved, but he's ran hot into turn 5. And Nelson's gone down. Nelson really not in a good place right now after the disaster of Phillip Island. Legendary, I can imagine he's about to box. Let's see what people are on circuit. Let's see what Howling does. I imagine he's going to box. Yeah, he's boxing. So Jack Berman, I believe, will be the next one to start a lap. Currently 19 seconds off the pace, but that's because he hasn't set an actual lap time yet. Here comes Jack to start what should be an improvement. Through turn 1 he goes, and it's completely missed. He's completely overshot turn 1. Imagine just power 1, save the tyres, save the fuel, and go again. As Platt was improving, but he's gone down. It's my bad for not paying attention to this. But Legendary improvements in sectors 1, 2 and 3. I doubt he's going to get onto the front row, but can he just extend that gap further just to consolidate his 4th place? Just about got it stopped. So it looks a bit hot through there, and he's had quite a bit of wheel spin as well. Yeah, he has lost time for that mistake there. But I think he's going to box. Yeah, VTR now, you can just see there. Bottom of shot, starting his final run. So improvements in Sector 1, Ghost Beach improving in Sector 1, DJX improving in Sector 1, improvements, apart from Legendary everywhere you're looking. Ghost Beach improvements in Sector 2, DJX improvements in Sector 2, Saya getting out of the way there for DJX. Oh, but Ghost Beach has run hot. It's going to cost him quite a bit of time. Is he going to improve anyway? Yes, he is. Oh, and the big mistakes there by Ghost Beach. As DJX comes up to the line and he goes into 4th place. VTR now approaches the final corner. Nicely done. Where's this going to... Oh, he's invalidated. I'd love to find out where he's actually gone there. We would have gone there. Nelson, his final lap. Actually, no, he's got one more. He'll have one more when he crosses the line. But can he finally just pull a lap together? He should, with these lap times, he should be inside the top 5. I'd imagine Jack Burwing just about pitched Legendary. Legendary holding on to the 2nd row. But for how much longer is Nelson? Getting ever closer to the end of this lap, and he's not really, doesn't seem to have put much of a foot wrong so far. Hard on the brakes into the final corner. Up to the line, where will he go? He goes 4th. That'll be a big relief to him, I would imagine. As DJX improving further, can he jump Nelson? Has he run out of fuel? I think he's just run out of fuel. I don't understand what's just happened. Or whatever's happened, it's weird. But Howling Siege in the final sector is currently last place. No, wait, what do you expect from a race winner? Into the final corner, Nelson, that's his session over. Only Legendary, Howling and Platts can end the session now. Legendary's finishing there. Howling jumps to 6th place, just takes Legendary's spot, and Jack Bowman's spot on the 2nd row, sorry. So now it's all down to Platt. Can he steal pole position on his last lap? Into sector 3, it's a red sector. It's all going to come down to this last corner, I'd imagine. No, that could have cost him there, just hitting the curb that little bit. That's going to cost him a run, and it's going to cost him there as well. Bit of a wheelie as well. It's all going wrong in this last sector. Can he salvage it in this final hairpin? Round the final corner, gassing it out. He's going to cross the line. And he proves just about.
That's the end of the
So Platt takes pole position with 26.5 from the Sion 2nd, VTR 3rd, Nelson 4th, DJX 5th, Howling 6th, Jack 7th, Ghost 8th, Legendary 8th and Ghost 9th. So that is your front row. Sorry, it's my brain's all over the place today. That's your grid for the race.
Good morning from Gavin M.
So we just wait for the guys to ready up. Just go speaking Platt left to ready up. So here we go. Platt on pole position. His first race on Repsol Honda. Let's see how he does. Probably still win, but let's see. And we are away. And it's a great start for the Repsol Hondas. He's going to turn one. Jack Bowman goes flying into the wall. And he's gone down, no surprise there. But it is going to be a Repsol Honda 1-3, maybe 1-2 at the end of the straight, we'll see. But Platt's out in front, and Vito goes round outside of Nelson. Holding the brakes, Nelson is going to go in between the two Ducatis and moves into second place. Yes, he does. Whoa, that's legendary going really well. I have no idea what's happened there, some lag for sure. But it is going to be VTR who is in second place, Howling is in third. And that is that's one of the Zukis. That's DJ. It's going up the inside of Ghost Beach, but Ghost Beach retakes the place. Ghost Beach looking up the inside of Howling. He's going to go round the outside of Ghost Beach, takes fourth place, and Nelson sweeps under the inside of the RC16 and moves into fifth, and gets to the curb and just about stays on the bike. Great stuff there by all three of these riders. Good racing. And Nelson looks to have run a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Ghost Beach to take the fifth place. But Nelson cuts underneath as Ghost Beach had to sits up the bike. For Howling, he's 11 points behind VTR. He needs to try and get in front of him to make sure that gap doesn't get too big. And DJ's in fourth place, and he nearly loses the front end. VTR's run really wide through the final corner, but has not lost too much ground. And Nelson now closing in on DJX. He's going to be in the slipstream of the Suzuki. The contact between Sire and Jack. Ghost Beach and VTR and Legendary goes side by side. We're getting all the names wrong today. Legendary goes up the inside of Ghost Beach, and Legendary's completely butchered that. Thankfully none of them have gone down, and they both survived. Sire goes in front of Jack Berman. Perry finished on the podium last race. Now they're down in 8th and 9th, just how quickly things can change. And Nelson making a bit of a mistake there, getting too close to the back of DJ's, forcing himself to run quite wide, making sure he doesn't fall victim to the bumps, but he stayed on. DJ's has run wide, Nelson's going to go underneath and takes the Suzuki, but he's run on the curve again, and it's going to go round the outside. He takes the lead, takes fourth place. Ghost Beach has gone down in the background there. I don't know if he hit the curb or what, but he's gone down. Nelson's going to go up the inside of DJX into this corner. This is a very tough move to make, and he's just about forced his way through. Thankfully neither of them have gone down. Nelson holding his ground, and he moves into fourth place. But can DJX fight back into the final corner? Will not be surprised if he tries. He's right on the back of him. He's going to run what? Nelson's run quite wide, and Legendary's run even wider. But DJX just can't. You see the acceleration difference between the two bikes. Through turn one, holding the gas for Nelson. Good one, I keep saying VTR. But Nelson now pulls a small gap over DJX for the braking zone. So can he close in on his former teammate and his fellow Dutchman Howling Siege, who's actually not lost sight of VTR. VTR doing the best he can. Second place really is the best position he could hope for, with Platt out in front. We'll just keep an eye on the background there, because DJX hasn't lost too much ground to Howling. It's only 6/10, so we'll just keep an eye. But VTR now just nearly at the 1 second point to Howling. Oh, DJX has gone down. He's gone down at the final corner, and Legendary and Siam will move up places. And Nelson is getting ever closer to the back of that M1. Just 6 tenths away. Oh, Howling looks to take a very wide line. He's going to try and use the. I think he's going to try and use the torque of that M1 to just pull a little bit of a gap, as much of a gap as possible on this straight, because obviously at the end of this straight the Yamaha will be closed in on. Whoa! And Howling's a big moment on the front. They're getting quite close to the curb. That small mistakes just meant that VTR is now got a 1.1 second gap over him, and Howling is really fallen into the clutches of Nelson now. Nelson's just going to bide his time, wait for the opportunity to strike, as Legendary is overtaken by Sire through turn 8. I'm not really sure the corner numbers here, because double corners sometimes count as 1, some don't. But I'd count that as turn 8 or turn 9. So I think Nelson is just got to set this up through turn 1, try and get the best exit possible. Again, the slipstream with the M1 and pull alongside and make the overtake into turn 3. Obviously easier said than done, but look at the power of the Honda. Losing in 2 tenths of a second, but outbraking Howling is quite a difficult thing to do. But Nelson's right on the back of the M1, he sets the bike up. I just think that the torque has just aided that Yamaha to just hold the Honda off. Oh, he's going to go around the outside onto the curb, and that's nearly ended in disaster for the pair of them. Platt's gone down. Where's he gone down? He's gone down to the double right. Has he had a big enough gap to hold the lead? No, he's not. VTR holds. Goes into the lead for the first time this race. Nelson's going to let Howling back through after that really aggressive move that forced him onto the curb. That really caused him to crash. Nelson's going to force his way through underneath, and that is it's still aggressive, but it's a better move than before. Howling left a little gap and he took it. But now we go to the front. Can VTR hold off Platt? 4 laps to do so. Into turn 1. This could be the difference in the championship. Allside has gone down. So VTR's nearest championship contender is in 4th place. And he comes Platt on the inside. He's going to run really hot, and VTR's going to take back the position. But Platt will have more acceleration, plus the slipstream. He's going to go up the inside into turn 4. His line's going to be tighter, so VTR can undercut him. Can he attack into turn 5? No, that little bit of contact has just been enough for Platt to be able to hold firm at the front. And Legendary's gone down. Seems like that Suzuki's just hard to, when they're pushing as hard as they are, it's just hard to keep it on 2 wheels for some strange reason. So it's the pre-penultimate lap of this race, 3 laps to go. Nelson looks to be in a good place for a podium, having to overtake Howling twice. Both very aggressive moves, but the second one just about clean enough. Sire, he'll be really annoyed with himself. 7th place. He might be able to just about steal 6th at the end here, but he'd be really kicking himself, you know. Easily could have been on the podium in all 4 races this season, but only coming away with 1 podium in 4 races after the strong end to the season he had last in season 8. he will be really kicking himself over this. And he's going to have some work to do to try and retake the championship lead, as Djex has got himself a long lap penalty that he's going to he's going to serve and be in between Jack and Sire, so Sire could be on for a top 5 finish here. Djex goes up the inside of Jack Berman through here. Oh, he's gone down, the contact's caused him to crash, and Sire's going to take the profit from that and moves into 5th place. And Djex leaves the session due to that crash, but now to the penultimate lap of this race. Platt with a 1.5 second lead. This is probably the smallest gap that he has had at this stage of a race in quite a long time. If he can just hold on for 2 laps, it could be returned to the podium for Nelson. Currently 2.5 seconds away from VTR in 2nd place. Oh, Sire. Oh, Sire, what have you done? Sire, he's crashed and he's now in last. Well, he's not in last place because Ghost Beach will have to take his long lap penalty, but it's a real head scratcher what's going on with Sire at the moment. It seemed like at the end of the last season he had fixed his crashing, but it seems like he's back to his old ways. And Ghost Beach is going to go underneath his teammate through the penultimate corner, be a real opportunist and get him through, but Jack's going to fight back immediately. There's no way he gets that stopped. And Ghost Beach has gone down. Guess Jack's going to make it stick. Didn't expect that. But it's the final lap of the race. Platt, barring any sorts of drama, is going to win this race by 2.5 seconds at minimum. I know fuel camp is a real problem here, so I imagine you'll be seeing some power 1s or some power 2s being used in places where usually should be using higher mappings. But it's been a return really you'd expect from Platt. First place is, well, you wouldn't expect anything else really, would you? And Legendary's gone down. And that might promote Jack Berman inside the top 5, it will. And Siren to 6th place. Legendary was so close to his first top 5 finish in Division 1. Seems like that Suzuki just isn't working for some strange reason. But Platt comes to the final corner, round the hairpin, and he will win the 4th race of the season. VTR extends his championship lead, finishing in 2nd place. And Nelson returns to the podium in 3rd. Howling will finish in 4th, 2 4th places, so some good consistency, but just not the places he needs for his championship. But he will be 2nd in the standings after this race. Jack Berman, 5th place for him after all the crash that's gone on behind him. Sire, 6th place for him, and it is going to be Legendary who will finish in 7th, with Ghost Beach in 8th. So there you have the results. VTR extended his championship lead to how many points? 15 points. So he's got a race wins worth of points, so he should be the championship. He will be the championship leader, unless he misses the next race and Howling Siege wins. But yeah, strong showing by most of these guys here. So we'll start off with the podium guys from Phillip Island, which were, let's get it up, Jack Berman, Sire, and VTR. So we'll first go on to Jack whenever he joins. Right, so we'll move, since Jack currently isn't here, we'll get started with the second place podium finisher at Phillip Island, which was Sire. So Sire, at Phillip Island, it was your first podium of the season, second place. How did that race go for you?
It was good, and I made a rookie mistake on the second turn of the lap. I had the pace, was pulling away from VTR, my teammate. He's doing good, he's been consistent. Yeah, I think my championship is quite over. I have to do something about it, but I think it's done deal. I'm happy to get the second or third in the championship, but the rest is all good. I'm just disappointed about Chang, because I really got the pace there. Even to do 26, my pace got disrupted after the first crash. I thought it could have been a red flag, should be, but I don't know. But it is what it is, and I hope to do better next race. Nice talking to you, Jack.
Yeah, congratulations. Obviously, I've got a lot of work to do to try and bring back your chance of a championship, but never say never.
Never say never. Thanks, Jack.
And we'll now move on to the race winner at Phillip Island, which was VTR. VTR was a perfect race for you. You didn't exactly lead from start to finish, but once you took the lead, you never lost it, so you must be happy with that performance.
Am I speaking? Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I had my mic on mute. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it was a successful race at Phillip Island. I stay consistent. I gained my third pole position of the season, which is always nice. So having good qualifications helps me a lot because I can get away from some of the chaos behind me. It's unfortunate for the Repsol Hondas in the first race. It's so unfortunate for Craig. Obviously, we know his pace, we know some consistency, so he got really unfortunate. And Nelson, I just think he loses his head a bit too easily. So think you need to stay a bit more calm, as we saw in this race just now. It's just a matter of staying calm, and like he's panicking and it gets to his head too much. But yeah, I think overall I had a successful race. I kept my pace, and I'm just the most consistent at the moment, which is helping me win.
Great stuff. We'll be back with you in a few moments, as we will now move on to the third place finisher in China, which was Nelson. Nelson, you had a great start, and unfortunately got a bit caught up in the mid-pack battle, and you dropped to 5th place, but you worked your way. You didn't make any mistakes this time, and the first move on Howling's a bit quite aggressive. The second one was also aggressive, but you found your way through in a decent enough manner. 3rd place, you must be happy to be back on the podium.
No, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was on the edge of retirement, and as VTR said, definitely the season has been on my nerves a lot, and I lost my head at Phillip Island after 2 crashes after a great race. I was following VTR and matching his pace, which is pretty good. Seemingly is probably the target to look for this season. I will still think about it, but after this result, it's definitely putting some doubts if I should so. This race I was very calm, tried to minimize damage, because I had a rough qualifying, but qualified P4, had a little bit of an arrangement with Howling, and got myself up in P5. I worked my way back up, and I just wanted to be on the podium so bad that I just tried every single move possible when they're on the outside. But gotta leave position, which is understandable, and got him back right away after, and tried to maintain my pace. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, well done. We'll now move back with the championship leader, which is VTR. So VTR, in this race, you did lead for a brief moment. Unfortunately, Platt was a bit too strong, but 2nd place, and you now have a race wins worth gap in the championship. So going into the next round, you must be a bit relaxed, I'd say, for the gap you've got.
Yeah, I'm happy at this race too. Again, it's the same as Phillip Island. I didn't crash, and I think I got 1 warning the whole race. In Phillip Island, I got no warning, so I'm very good at just staying on the track and getting limited warnings. And my pace is good as well. I do feel, I've said this, but I do feel robbed of the win today. Someone who shouldn't have been racing too. But it's not the end of the world. But it's not. I don't think it's fair. But that can get discussed. But overall, I'm happy with my race, and I just hope to continue my streak of wins and pole positions.
Yeah, well done. And we now move on to the race winner. Platt, you return this time on Repsol Honda, and imagine qualifying for you is just basically about just understanding the bike and any small changes needed for a setup. But how did that race go for you?
Yeah, in qualifying I decided to do a medium full fuel run at the start, just to adjust to the bike properly. And yeah, it felt good. I did a 26.4 and a couple low 26s, but unfortunately they were invalid. And my actual qualifying lap was, I think I was 7 or 8 tenths up going into the final sector, and then I made some silly mistakes and lost a lot of time. But I ended up getting pole and the whole shot and extended my lead. I had a very good pace and good rhythm, but I made a silly mistake. I was trying to push for a 25 in the race, which is a little bit overboard, and made a mistake. I lost the position to VTR, but got it back a lap later, and proceeded to be a little bit more careful in the second part of the race, and just take the victory. I mean, I know VTR specifically isn't very happy, but a wild card job is to fill in, and I filled in for a missing rider today. That was Craig, and yeah, I'm happy with the victory and my pace.
Yeah, so congratulations for that victory. So that's it for round number 2. We're back for round 3 next week at, I can't remember the tracks. Mugello and Termas. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.